So in the shared Unity folders, most recent subfolder, find this lab instruction starter package and download that. It's only 4.5 megabytes. Once it is downloaded, find it in the folder here. There it is, downloaded. Okay. Then the usual, go to Unity Hub and start a new project. 2D Core. Give it a proper name. Create project. So that'll take a little while. I'll come back when it's done loading. This is what it looked like for me when I loaded up Unity, new project. Now, up at the top, find Assets, Import Package, Custom Package. Then you'll have to find the downloaded instructions package. So for me, it's in Downloads right here. And I say Open. And it'll take a little while, but then this comes up. And you want to import everything. So just hit the Import button, lower right. And now it's importing all those assets into this Unity project. So now here, if I click on Project on the left, we have some scripts that are marked with the hashtag. We have some prefabs in this folder. And we're ready to go. First thing to do is to load the scene that actually has some value. Instead of sample scene, up at the top, go to File, Open, Scene. In the Scenes folder, open it, Lab Instructions. So this is a sample of what you can do with lab instructions. First thing I would recommend doing is save this as a new title. So you can always go back to the original unchanged package scene. But let's call this lab instruction standard solution. So you can give it a more specific title for the particular lab you're doing. Okay, so now this is essentially a copy of the original scene. You can mess this one up and you'll still be able to go back to the original. Show you how it works here. Let's stretch that out a little bit so it's easier to see. So if you press play, then this screen here in the middle is live. It randomized the white tiles. Those are draggable. That's not correct. That's not correct. So if I'm lazy or I don't know anything, I might just do this. And you can see I've got a negative score here because every time you put in the wrong place, you get negative points. And so this is not a winning strategy. But if you think about it and you say, okay, maybe goggles and aprons should be first, there it goes. Oh, it's not first, maybe it's second, yeah. So what's first then? First happens to be this calculate the mass of. So you can see the tiles on the outside are draggable. There's numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to indicate what goes first, second, third, fourth in the actual lab. Okay, click play and everything will go back to the original. Alright, so this is the structure I'm going to teach you about. So everything that's in the scene is here on the left. There's the scorekeeper tile, that's this greenish one at the top. There's blue tiles in the background. If I click on this little triangle to the left of blue tiles in the background, there's column 1 and column 2. Again, if I click on the triangle, I can expand. So there's 6 tiles on the left, column 1. There are 6 tiles on the right, but the 6th one is grayed out. So this lab has only 11 instructions, but if you need 12, then highlight stationary tile 12, and then on the right, click the little box here, and it's there. If you don't need it, it's gone by clicking again. Maybe you only have 8 instructions, in which case you could highlight 9, 10, and 11 all at the same time and click the little box on the right, and they would be gone. So you can customize up to 12 instructions here. I think 12 is a good number. More than that gets probably a little overwhelming. Okay, but I'll bring back those. We have 11 blue tiles. You shouldn't have to do anything with those. They don't have words, they don't have pictures, they're just the background tiles. So I'll again click this triangle on the left of blue tiles in background, and there now it looks neater on the hierarchy. So the movable white tiles are the ones that are actually you would have to customize as the instructor. So let me click the triangle. There are 12 of those as well, but the 12th one is grayed out. So if you wanted to see it, then again you activate it with the little white box on the right, and you can see it doesn't have any text yet, but you could add something to it. Each of the tiles 1 through 11 here, I'll just click on instructional tile with image 1. You can see that's this one right up here. If I expand it with the triangle, you get to canvas, expand that again. Now you can see there's a label, that's text. TMP stands for Text Mesh Pro. There's also a place for an image. So if I click on the label, that's this one here. On the far right, you can see I can type in different text. Text input, blah, blah, blah. And you can see as I do this on the right in the inspector, it immediately takes effect on the screen, the tile itself. If I say, no, that was a mistake, Control Z will undo it. You also have space for an image. So I have put a number of images in this particular project. So if you go to the right, see there's a place for image. There's a place for source image. There's a circle with a dot on the far right. Click that. So these are all images I have put into this project. Most of them, like this balance and beaker and the calculator, I just stole it from the internet. So if you want to make your own photos, you can. If you want to steal from the internet, it's probably fine. When you made this project in Unity, it made a folder. For me, it's on the desktop. And so in that folder, there'll be a assets folder. And you'll have this folder in assets called tile images. And this is where you just put the images that you want to use in your project. So there's nothing, it's not Unity, it's just, for me it's Windows, where I just put images into this folder. So that's all you need to do really, is say which image you want. The images I use are all PNG, but they could be JPEG, for example. I don't think it matters. Alright. So it should be easy for you to customize your tiles, up to 12 of them, with the words you want to see and the image you'd want to see. Now you can see tile 2, it says put on goggles and apron. Doesn't have a picture. So if we go to the image for that draggable tile, it's 100% transparent. So if you feel that a picture is not helpful, then use this 100% transparent image. as the instructor, the tiles are in the order that they're supposed to be in the end. So tile 1, which is this one right up here at the top, that is step 1, and tile 2 is step 2, and tile 3 is step 3. And what you'll notice is that when you press play, which would happen automatically for the student, when they're actually playing this as a game, those will be randomized. So I've written a little code that will take the however many images there are and randomize their positions. And it'll also be different each time a student plays. For example, if you say, well, in this case, the balance is on the top here. If I play again, the balance is not on the top this time. Balance is way over here on the right. So each time it's a different setup. That's a good experience for the students. Each time it's random. You as the instructor don't have to worry about that. It should automatically do that for you. You just have to set the proper label and the proper image for each of the tiles. So now here on the left we're going to look at the scorekeeper tile. So I'll minimize this movable white tile so it looks neater. Scorekeeper tile on the right has what's called a scorekeeper script. There is a value that you may want to change. This is the percent score needed. So it's by default set to 80%. But if you want to make it more challenging for your students, you could make this 85 or 90. Basically, if it's a very high percent, then you get very few wrong answers allowed. That's the only thing you need to change in the scorekeeper script. The other values, please don't change. But if I press play now, you can see how the minimum score is calculated. Right now it's 80% needed. There are 11 white tiles or 11 instructions. So each correct answer is worth 10 points. So 110 points possible. 80% of that is the Unity will calculate this. 88 is the score needed to pass. So if I change that, for example, make it 85%. So I just typed it in. I just clicked in the box and typed it in. And now you'll see when I press play, the score needed to pass is significantly higher. So now it's 94 instead of 88. So that's there if you want to use it. As I said, the default is 80%. If you don't do anything, that's what it will calculate. Over here on the left, there is a game object called a tile randomizer. You don't have to change anything for that, but that's what is responsible for randomizing the positions of the instructions on start. There are also these sounds which you could change if you like. Happy sound, sad sound, victory sound, applause, etc. The game over tile here on the left, you can kind of see it peeking out in the background here where it'll tell you congratulations, you scored enough points to pass, or you didn't score enough points to pass and please try again. There is a try again button that's hidden for the moment, but it would not be hidden when the student has placed all the tiles in the template. There you go. That's all I think you need to know. So try it out, and if you have questions, then you can get back to me on that.